السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم فقهنا في الدين. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وأملا متقبلا. So here we are with our session number 265 for Quranic Arabic Grammar, in which we are learning advanced surf, and the topic that we are going to be covering today again is going to be misal, that we have started in our last session on Saturday. So misal, if somebody can remind me, why is misal called misal? What do you think um, is the reason for that? Why is misal called misal, and what's the meaning of that? So yes, it means an example or a sample, or there is a resemblance of misal with a sound of al, that in the fact in a way that the words that are the afal that are under this category of under misal, they all conjugate more or less like sahih af'al. That is why that is where this word is coming from. That is why this group of af'al are called misal. So what does a word have to be called misal? What should be there in a word? What should be the part of the root letter for a word to be called misal? So one is that word must have waw or ya. Very good job. The word must have waw or ya. So what is the location? Or let me just make a question. What is the location of the weak letter in misal? The first letter, the foul kalima, is going to be the weak letter, right? So the location of weak letter is that it is a first letter, root letter, or the foul kalima must be a weak letter. And there is, how many types are there for misal? Very good job. There are two types. Very well done. Okay. From which abwab of as-sulasi al-mujarrad misal comes from? Yes, the two types of misal are misal wawi and yai, and there are five abwab that you have covered in the last session, from which you can have a misal. The only exception is that both misal wawi and yai, we did not see any examples from Nasara clan. Every clan except for Nasara clan. Very good job. That is easy way to memorize it. Okay. So, what was the overarching rule that we covered, or the first rule that we have covered when we were learning misal? The first rule of misal. So, fail madin was wa'ada, right? But when we went on to look at fail mudare, the fail mudare of misal looked like ya'idu. There is no change in madin, so there is no rule application in fail madin, right? But in case of misal, the very important rule among the different type of ilal that you are going to see in misal, the most important is the hasf, right? The hasf of waw in fail mudari. The hasf of waw in the fail mudari is very important rule that we have covered in the last session, because it was very much found in different fail mudaris of misal, right? Do you agree? So where do we see omission of waw? When does the letter waw or foul kalima of misal get omitted? When does it get omitted? Very good job. The first case is, as Sister Shamim is typing, when Ainul Kalima, when Ain has a kasra, or Ainul Kalima is Maksura. Okay? It is Maksura. It is written with a kasra. When Ain has a kasra, and the waw is present between Alamatul Mudare and Ainul Kalima that has a kasra, Ainul Kalima that has a kasra, waw gets omitted. Okay? And also, I hope this is understood, that this alamatul mudari is going to be maftuha, right? You all understand that when waw is present between alamatul mudari maftuha and ainul kalima, that is maksura, there is an omission of waw, right? And this will happen in which abwab? And I'm seeing very good answers already. So you are going to see omission of waw based on this, the first thing in bab daraba, and you are going to see that in bab hasiba, right? So these are the two that have ainul kalima, that have a kasra, like daraba yadribu, hasiba yahsibu. So in that you are going to see omission of vaw. Then the second case that you have seen is when your ainul or lamul kalima is from harufi halkiya, and which bab it has is known to have lot of harufi halkiya in as their second letter or the third letter. You have covered that in your basic surf. The fataha is one of the abwab of as-sulasi al-mujarrad that has ain kalima or lam kalima, that can be a throat letter or harufi halkiya, right? Hamza ha, ainul ha, ghainul ha, right? So that can be found very commonly in fataha. So and then I gave you a disclaimer from my teacher, that who made simplified everything and said that misal wawi, if it comes from the three clans of family one, the waw is going to get omitted, right? Yes, she is fine. She's driving back, so that's why I had to, so yeah, she's fine. Jazakallah khair. So yeah. So now, if once this is clear, I hope to each and every one of you, so that daraba, hasiba, fataha, right? And the reasons you all know, right? So then you will find in some books that vow does not get omitted in Samia. What do you think, Shamim? Is this true that vow does not get omitted in Bab Samia? Based on what we have covered, can it be true that that vow will not be omitted in Samia clan? So look at this one. No, it can drop. Keep that keep the everything in mind. Okay, so if you can, it can drop, because see, in Samia clan, if your root letters are from harufe halqiya, there is a permissibility, right? So, in here, the first thing is waw is between alamatul mudari maftuha and ainul kalima maksura, right? The first thing is that, right? Or we can label it as A. Then in B, part B was when your ain kalima or lamul kalima is harufe halkiya, right? So in harufe halkiya, there is, and with the harufe halkiya, there is a permissibility of omission of waw. And then we have gone over that how fataha has lot of words where we will find either ainul kalima is going to be harufe halki, or lamul kalima is going to be harufe halki. So there is a possibility that whenever the words are from daraba, hasiba, fataha, waw is going to go away. But also samia can also have harufe halkiya, so it's going to get omitted in samia as well, right? So in samia as well, so um just don't I would not side with this rule that the wow does not get omitted in samia, because in samia also, when we have wasi'a yasa'u, we see the omission of wow, right? And how do we see omission of wow? Why do we see omission of wow? Do we have a reason? Because in Samia, this wasi'a, does it have harufe halkiya? Can we say that the waw got emitted because of the presence of ain, right? Which was harufe halki. So again, as a harufe halki on the lamul kalima, there is a permissibility, right? The B, the rule number one, part B is harufe halkiya, ain or lam, waw can get omitted. So this can be supported by the fact that if ain or lamul kalima is from harufe halkiya, waw can get omitted. Okay. So now, then in Quran, you are going to come across a word where neither this word yazaru, when you look at yazaru, look at yazaru. Do you see any harufi halki? No. And do you see any kasra on Ainul Kalima? No, but wow still got emitted. So just remember the rule for the room for exceptions, right? To exception to the rule of the famous vow. Will you all remember this? Because this was a question once asked. I try to make sure that whatever I have learned of exceptions, I share it with the rest with my students so that um, they know everything beforehand, inshallah. Okay. So I hope up until here everything is clear to each and every one of you, right? So when you have then elal bil hasf, the same thing, the omission of waw, you also learnt another rule that in masdar, when the masdar is on a certain pattern, fi'lun pattern, when the faul kalima of masdar has a kasra with ain being a sakin, there is again going to be a possibility of omission of, there is going to be a omission of waw, right? Do you all remember that? That whenever the masdar is going to be, right, the vow can be omitted. When there is a going to, when there is will you see a permissibility for both fatha or kasra in case of ainul kalima? When will it be possible, when will it be possible for a masdar that is on fa'ilun pattern to take either a fatha or a kasra? What is the condition for that? Do you remember? So when you look at, yes, when your Ainul Kalima is maftuha, very good job. See here, in here, remember that. Because the Ainul Kalima, remember, when the Ainul Kalima is maftuha, your masdar can have the spelling of siyatun, like in case of wasiya yasa'u, siyatun is a possibility, so is sa'atun. So if somebody asks you why it is not on ilatun pattern, what will be the answer? The answer is going to be because the Ainul Kalima of Mudare was maftuha, so there is a permissibility. It can be read with both kasra or fatha. Okay, Siyatun can be read with kasra or fatha. Okay, because the Ainul Kalima of Mudare was maftuha, right? Wasa'a yasa'u, right? Ainul Kalima was seen and it is with fatha, right? So in here there is a permissibility when the Mudare has Ainul Kalima that has maftuha, that masdar can be read with both kasra or fatha. In Quran, when we see those masadir, are we allowed to change the haraka? Can we read siyatun or sa'atun? Is there an allowance? Remember, there is no such permissibility, right? Whenever I give you a fact about something, that this it is permissible to recite it as siyatun or sa'atun. This is for general Arabic, okay? But in Quran, you cannot change anything, right? Because it is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is preserved even in writing. So how can we change, any haraka, saying that this is, it is permissible to, you know, read it like that. Like yu'minuna, the word yu'minuna can be, in Arabic, otherwise can be read as yuminuna. There is a permissibility for that. But can I read yu'minuna from Quran as yuminuna? Can I change that hamza into waw? No, not at all, right? So these are very important facts that we must know as we are learning our advanced surf, because that though it is permissible to read it with fatha or a kasra, that does not mean that you can read sa'atun in Quran as siyatun as well. Okay. So if however in your test, if the question comes that what is happening into this word, that what in the world is giving this word a fatha, this ilatun fi'lun masdar fatha. I hope you all will be able to figure that out, that because you will be able to write the right answer, that because ainul kalima of this fi'l mudari was maftuha, that is why it is permissible to have a fatha on ainul kalima. Okay, in case of a mastar. And this ta marbuta at the end, as we have covered in the last session as well, this is actually coming in place of omitted vow. Some may write it as that. Okay, so it is just compensating for, yes, as Sister Rabia previously has said as well, that it can be compensation for the, or it can come at the end in the place of omitted vow. Okay, so I hope you are with me so far. And then when you see fail mudare majhul, so you adu, or you da'u, do you think it is necessary to omit vow in here? Do we need to, does the vow need to fall off? No, not, it does not need to fall off, right? Now it is very compatible with dhamma, so it's going to remain, right? Inshallah. Okay, and then I hope you all remember, if wow, that is madmuma, is in the beginning of the word, it can get changed into hamza, right? As we have covered in our last session, right? So I think everyone is able to understand so far the misal. So everyone should be good with wa'ada, yaidu, wa'adan, wa'idatan, and wa'idun. Wa'idun, there is no change. So I hope you are able to understand it just as as such. When you look at ism ala, mi'adun or mi'adun, do you notice any change? When you look at the word, immediately what comes to your mind? Mi'adun. Mi'adun. There is qalb. The first thing that is, Aisha, your root letters are waw, ain, dal, right? Wa'ada, right? So your root letters were waw, ain, dal, and now you notice that waw has been replaced, has changed into ya. And why so? What is friend of kasra? What goes along with kasra? You remember, the ya is friends with kasra. Ya goes along with kasra. It is a cousin or a sister or a brother of kasra. Therefore, wow in here has been replaced by ya, because yas is more compatible here, right? Yeah, as Sister Musarat is also typing, that ya is more compatible with kasra, so that therefore wow got changed into ya, and this is going to be, the name for this rule is going to be ilal bil qalb, right? Ilal bil qalb, because the qalb has to do with the change. In case of maw'adun, maw'idun, maw'adatun, are we noticing any change? No change. In case of felun nahi, la ta'id, what is the main thing that we are noticing? What is very important? Again, this is coming the same from fail mudare hasf, right? Ilal bil hasf. When you look at your failul amr, what comes to your mind? Id. Wow got dropped, so therefore again the same hasf is the, is a very important something that you are going to see in case of misal, right? So everyone got it so far. In my review, I think was the main thing that I wanted you all to go over with me when we were doing this. So, in case of wasa'a, yasa'u, if anyone asked you what is the reason for omission of wow, why is wow omitted, though it is not present between Alamatul Mudari Maftuha and Ainul Kalima Maksura, what will be the answer? Harufi Halkiya is there, right? This is permissible because the Lamul Kalima was Harufi Halkiya, right? In case of Sa'atan, we already have covered, so now everyone should be clear with the fact that this can be Sa'atan, this can be Si'atan. Sa'atan is permissible because your Mudare has Ainul Kalima Maftuha and I have repeated it again for you so that everyone is with me. When you look at word wada'a yada'u, wada'a yada'u, is this word, no, it is not wasa'a, it is wasiya. Sorry, it is wasiya yasa'u. This is from your what is it called? It's from your Samia clan. Wasiya yasa'u. So in case of your what was I asking you guys about but in case of wada'a yada'u, what is the reason for the omission of wow? Why did wow got omitted? Wow got omitted again. Wada'a yada'u. You notice the what is your lamul kalima? Throat letter. Throat letter, right? Throat letter, right? When the ainul kalima is a throat letter, it can your vowel can get omitted. When lamul kalima is throat letter, there's a allowance for omission of vowel. It can be omitted. You may see omission of vowel. Everyone got it? So now when you see your family 2 here, wahada yuwahidu توحيدا فهو موحد. Are you noticing any change? Are you noticing any difference from علم يعلم تعليما فهو معلم علم يعلم تعليما فهو معلم. There is no change, right? علم وحد لا توحد لا تعلم موحد is your ism sarf. No rule is going to apply, and that is why we call misal because it conjugates just like your regular sound fail with few exceptions, right? Then when you see wazaba yuwazibu wizaban wa muwazabatan, any change in your in here? You noticing any change in bab mufa'ala? Are you finding it different? No change. So it is just conjugating like your regular sound fail. So again, you don't need to worry much about it. أوقد يوقد إيقادا فهو موقد. So is there any change? For the most part, is there any change? Let me rephrase my question. For the most part, you don't see any change, except when you look at the masdar. What are we seeing in masdar? In masdar, because of the kasra before waw, there is ilal bil qalb. Very good job. Very good job that there is a change of waw into ya, right? There is ilal bil qalb because of kasra on a letter before, right? So just remember that in here, just you are going to see ilal bil qalb in the masdar, okay? The masdar is going to have ilal bil qalb, and when I show you the third family, this is your fourth family, now your fifth family. So you have gone over your family 1, you have now gone over 2, 3, 4, and this is your family number 5. Tawakkala yatawakkalu tawakkulan fahuwa mutawakkilun. What did I do? I did not change my words here. I'm sorry. So, okay. Um, Tuwukila yutawakkalu tawakkulan fahuwa mutawakkalun. والأمر منه توكل لا تتوكل والظرف منه متوكل. Any change? There is no change, right? It's the same as your family 5, so you don't see any change. And then your family number 6, توافق يتوافق توافقا فهو متوافق. Any change from the normal ta'awana yata'awanu, or from your regular um, tasa'ala yatasa'alun, there is no change, right? You don't find any changes. So however, when you come to family number 8, bab iftial, remember one very important rule, okay? In here there is a very important rule, and you have to remember this rule by heart, because this is very important when it comes to bab if iftial. Bab iftial, do you know, if your foul kalima is original waw or ya, if your Foul kalima is original waw and ya or ya, what will it, what will happen to it? It will change the waw or ya changes into the waw or ya will change into ta. Okay, so if in this bab the waw or ya, if it is a foul kalima, it will get changed into ta. And so what type of what are we seeing here? Again we are seeing a change, right? So in here you are noticing a change, but the rest of everything, you are not going to find much different. Okay, so it is going to be ittaqada yattaqidu ittiqadan fahuwa muttaqidun. So and so on and so forth. So the only thing is there is going to be a change of waw and ya into ta, and then there will be idgham. That is very commonly seen in your family 8, right? We have seen very many examples of that when we were doing bab iftial. Do you remember that, where we were noticing lot of ibdal and then idgham, ibdal followed by idgham, right? So in here you are going to see the waw or ya is going to change into ta, and it will there will be idgham. Okay, keep that in mind. Then in case of your family 10, bab istif'al, it's going to be pretty much, in case of wawi, are we noticing any difference? Isto'aba, yasto'ibu, isti'aban. So in masdar, in masdar, in masdar, if it is ajwaf, it is, sorry, if it is misal wawi, what is happening? Do you notice any change? Istiaban. Now there is a qalb in masdar. In which other family do we notice a qalb? You notice 4 and 10 are very parallel to each other. Do you notice 4 and 10 are very they go hand in hand, right? Your 2 and 5 go hand in hand. Your 3 and 6 go hand in hand. And that is why we focused a lot on these differences, and we dwelled on these different, sorry, not differences, these similarities when we were doing our basic surf. That how there is a Shadda family, there is an Alif family, there is a Ta family, right? So that was the reason. There is a um, family with alamatul mudari madmuma, because there will be lot of similarities, and there are things that that will make you put things together. And so you noticed in 4 and 10, in 4 and 10 there is going to be ilal bil qalb in masdar, if your misal is misal wawi, right? In misal wawi, you are going to see ilal bil qalb. So do you think there is ilal bil qalb necessary if misal was misal yai? What do you think? In case of misal yai, if the it was originally ya, will there be any change? No, right? There will be no change. Yeah, very good job. So now, in case of misal yai, what are we going to see? Aikana yukinu. Aikana, any change? It is regular, right? For the most part, it is regular, right? Aikana, just like it should be. Ya, Qaf, Noon are the root letters, and there's no change. But when it comes to fi'l mudari, yuqinu, what is happening? What are you seeing? Is there any change? There is qalb, right? So, and what was the reason for qalb? Because the waw is more compatible with dhamma, so ya got changed into waw, right? Because the compatibility, they are more compatible, they go hand in hand, they're more friendly with each other. So there is a change of ya into waw, and this change is called ilal bil qalb, right? In case of iqanan, in the masdar of misal yai, which is salasi mazid fihi bab if'al, are you noticing any ilal bil qalb? You did see that in case of um, misal wavi, here you are not going to see any change, right? With wavi, you are going to see a change. When you come to ism fa'il, muqinun, any change? There is again qalb. Remember that. Remember that. So yaqana is the root letter, and there is a change because of the compatibility of waw being more compatible with dhamma, right? And then फिर mabni lil majhul ukina, the same thing, because wow is more compatible with dhamma, so ya got changed into wow. And yuqanu is your majhul. Iqanan, again there is no change. And muqanun is, again there is a change of ya into wow because of the more compatible wow being more compatible with dhamma, right? So then your, when it comes to your failul it's going to be aiqin, right? It's going to be aiqin. And your failul nahi is la tuqin. There is, again you are noticing the same ilal bil qalb in your failul nahi as well, because your failul nahi mainly comes from your mudare, right? It is your mudare majzoom. It is simply your mudare majzoom, right? So you are noticing the same thing which you saw in your regular form mudare marfu. In case of mudare majzoom, you are again going to notice ilal bil qalb, right? And then comes your misal yai. In case of your mazid fi, istaykana, yastaykinu, istiqanan. Anything you are noticing that is different? Anything that got changed? Istaghfara, yastaghfiru, istighfaran, fahuwa mustaghfirun. No change, right? Now, in case of when Madi Majhul, when the Madin Majhul comes, you see here, Ustuqina, yustaiqanu, istiqanan, fahuwa mustaiqanun. There, in case of Majhul, do you notice any elal? There is qalb that has happened. Very good job, because of compatibility, right? Again, because your wow is more compatible, so ya got changed into wow, right? In majhul, you are going to see. And it's not going to be, is it going to be hard for you to figure out when I'm going to show you Quran itself? Do you think you will find it hard? Even for the beginners, I think I'm hoping that we are going to be able to finish this off easily, inshallah. What is the time? Okay, so we have still 28 minutes. So in case of failul amr is taikin, last taikin is failul nahi, and your ism zarf is mustaiqanun, right? So now I'm going to take you to Quran itself, and we are going to all practice together, starting with word Wow, Bala. So here, I want you to focus on this one, Wabilan. What will be the wazan? What is the pattern of word Wabilan? Fa'ilan. It is Fa'ilan. And Fa'ilan, so can be your, remember, Fa'ilan can be the pattern for your sifa, right? Sifa mushabba. It can be a masdar pattern as well. Remember? Especially, it's going to be a masdar pattern if the masdar has to do with the sound. Shahiqan in case of your Suratul Mulk, right? Shahiqan that you find in Suratul Mulk on a pattern of fa'ilan is has to do with a specific type of a sound that people of hellfire are going to be exposed to. So, wabilan can be is a fa'ilan pattern, which, and fa'ilan pattern can be your sifa mushabba, or it can be your masdar pattern, right? So this is the main thing that you are seeing here. Then you see wabilun. So in case of Wabilun, what is the wazn for Wabilun? It is like ism fa'ilun, right? It is ism fa'ilun. But, and you will notice that sometimes a word is spelled as fa'ilun, ism fa'ilun, but it is a meaning of a masdar. Sometimes it is going to have it is going to be on a pattern of some file. However, it will have a function of it will function as a masdar. It will have a meaning of a masdar. Okay, keep that in piece of information with you, inshallah. Okay, so when I show you this word, I would like you to focus on this word, yatirakum, walain yatirakum. Do you see what are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? Walain yatirakum. This is family one. family 1, okay, there is ilal bil hazf. This is fail mudare with ilal bil hazf. What is the reason? This is misal wawi. As you can see that I have typed waw ta ra. So what caused the hazf to happen? Watara yatiru. Watara yatiru. What could be the reason? Because your ainul kalima was your ainul kalima had a kasra. It had a kasra. Therefore there is a permissibility for the omission of waw. So it is this from Samia clan, Sister Musarat? In Samia clan, ainul kalima is not going to be with a kasra, sister, right? In Samia clan, your Ainul Kalima will not have a kasra, it will be fatha, it will have a fatha, right? So this can be either from Daraba or it can be from Hasiba, right? The possibility for this is either Daraba or Hasiba, right? Are you with me? So when it comes to Sahih Af'al, you will notice that when it comes to Sahih Af'al, Bab Hasiba is extremely uncommon in Sahih Af'al. But when it comes to Muattal, you will notice lot of there will be there may be more it will be more Hasiba clan is going to be very popular when it comes to Muattal Af'al. Keep that in mind, okay? But when it comes to the Sahih, in comparison, I'm trying to tell you, okay? Keep listen to this very carefully. When you compare Hasiba, you will find 2, 3 afal from Hasiba clan. Hasiba Yaksibu, 2, 3 afal that you will, basically find an example from Quran or from Hasiba. But when it comes to irregular, when the words that have weak letters, the af'al that are mutalla, then in that you will find that, Hasiba clan is relatively more commonly seen compared to Sahi af'al. So this is coming from either Daraba or Yatira can be from Hasiba. When you look at Tahinu, what can be the possibility for Tahinu? And don't be weak. So this can be family 1. This is family 1. So is it Hawaw Noon or Wow Ha Noon? What do you think? Think about it again. So ha, it can be Wow Ha Noon Wahana Yahinu, right? And this can be from again your daraba or hasiba, right? There can be two possibilities. And in here, why did wow got omitted? Is there any reason for for the omission of wow? Did you learn any rule which this word is following, that the if the ainul kalima is maksura here, the ainul kalima is maksura, so don't worry about anything, okay? So it is already written with a kasra. Ainul kalima has a kasra. Don't worry about it, harufi halkiya, yeah? Yes, it does have harufi halkiya as well, that it is double trouble, but yeah, but you have you have an ainul kalima with a kasra. You can stop just right there, okay? Because your ainul kalima was with a kasra, so that's why wow is it is permissible for wow to get omitted, okay? Inshallah. Okay, the next word that I have for you is wasaqa. So misaq. Just recently, just like word mi'ad, right? Mi'ad, misaq. When a word has a kasra on a meme, when a word begins with a meme kasra, what does it remind you of? A word starting with meme kasra, very good job, very good answers. So meme kasra from surf standpoint should remind you of ism ala, right? Ism ala. Now the root letter that I have typed was waw, tha, qaf, and you are noticing ilal bil qalb. Waw got changed into ya. Why so? Ya is more compatible with kasra. Everyone with me? If I asked you, Meme Kasra should remind you of what? Meme Kasra should first of all remind you of your Isam Ala. Do not forget that. Please do not forget that, okay? Because this is a very important piece of information. when I show you this word, al-wusqa, al-wusqa. So now think about this word. So very strong or something, right? So very strong something. So wow, sa, so what is it? How does it spell? Can you tell me this? Does it give me and some word that is that? Yes, good job. Yeah, it is spelled on a pattern for Allah, and for Allah pattern reminds you of feminine form of Ism Tafdeel. So for Allah reminds you of feminine form of Ism Tafdeel like Kubra, Sughra, Uzma, right? So Husna, very good job. All those are right answers. So this word is Ism Tafdeel feminine form, right? Then I have another one for you here. Wasaqakum. When you look at word wasaqa, what do you think about wasaqa? Here, Surat Maida, word ayah 7, wasaqa yuwasiku, right? Since you have already started to type family 3, very good job. You are noticing that there is this word is mazid bi harf, right? Mazid bi harf, and there is alif, that is an additional letter, that is letter that is mazid. Therefore you are going to give it to family 3, right? Wasaka yuwasiku wisakan wa muwasakatan, right? Fahuwa muwasikun. Everyone with me? It's going to decline just like your regular family 3. There will be no difference that we have found previously. Mausiqan, mausiqan. So look at the word and then we'll talk about it. Mausiqan. When you have now wow sa qaf are the letters, right? Are you seeing any ilal? Anything different? Any ilal or no change? There is no change. Now, when you look at this word, what is very important there? Something. So, yes, the first thing that Meme Fatha should remind you of is Ism Zarf that you are telling me. Very good job. Ism Zarf. Now, there is something that you have covered with me that I have taught you. It's going to spell exactly like Ism Zarf in family 1, and the name given to it, and it is your idea word, it is your masdar, and the name for this masdar is masdar. What is the name for this masdar that has a meme in the beginning? Masdar mimi. Very good job. Very good job. So this is based on the context, because just before I started teaching you, I went over this word and just to see which context that this word has come in. So this is your masdar hatta tuni mausiqan. So here it is being used in the meaning of a masdar. But do you know why that you need to keep your drill in mind? You all know that drill has to be kept in mind, right? That when meme has a kasra, think about ism ala. When meme has a fatha, think about ism zarf. And then when meme has a fatha and word doesn't seem to have anything with a time or place, you start to think about masdar mimi, right? This is how you must work it's this is how you should be doing your things, right? So again, here mausiqan in Surat Yusuf again, again means a promise. So again, this is not going to be obviously your time or place. It has to be masdar, right? It has to be understood as masdar. Okay, wasana. No, I'm not going to go over this. Let's see, wajaba. Do we have wajabat? Wajabat junubuha. Wajabat. So, what can be the possibility for wajaba? This is your fail madin. Very good job. And if I have to narrow it down, can it be nasara? Can it be wajaba? This is huwa nasara? Can it be? No, why not? Nasara is such a common clan of Baban, because in Misal we have learned in both Misal Babi and Yai. I did not give you any example of Nasara clan. So the only option that you will have with this word is going to be either this word is from Fataha, either this word is from Fataha as you are typing, or this can be Daraba, right? There are only two options, right? Everyone, only two options. Keep that in mind, okay? So while we are doing our misal, if I asked you al mu'tarra, what is this word? What does this word remind you of? When you look at this word remind you of something that you have covered in few sessions earlier, and in here you are seeing mudaf. Very good job, right? You are seeing mudaf. And what type of family are we looking at here? Is this a big family, or is this your mujarrad? It is going to be your big family, or it is your asulasi al mazid fihi. It is mazid fihi because your word is beginning with mim damma, right? Mim damma. Very good job. Now, what is the extra letter in here that you are seeing? R- is it a raw, or is it ta that is extra? It is ta that is extra, right? Ra is ain and lam together, right? Ain and lam, ra, ainul kalima is ra and lamul kalima is ra. That is just your root letter, right? The extra letter, which is not a sahi letter or haruf asli in here, that is ta, which is coming from the family, right? From bab iftial, right? From bab iftial, you have ta that is extra. So how do you know this is family 8? What is in there? Very good job. Ata is after Faul Kalima. That is why we are going to call it family 8, because the only family where Ta comes after the first root letter is family 8. Very good job. Is this family Mazid bi harf or harfain? Harfain. There are two letters that are additional in addition to the three root letters. Very good job. There are two extra letters, and the one is the Ta and the other one is Hamza. Hamza, right? Hamzatul Wasl is the another extra letter, right? Not Alif, not Alif. Call it Hamzatul Wasl. Remember this Hamza that is part of family 7, in Fa'ala, in Qalaba, or the Hamza that is part of family 8, like in word Iqtaraba, or the Hamza that is part of family 9, like Ihmarra, or the Hamza that is part of family 10, like in word istaghfara, or the hamza that is part of the 12, 13, 14, idhama or ihloluqa. All those hamzas are hamzatul wasl. Those are never going to be labeled as alif. We don't call them alif, right? Those are all hamzatul wasl. There is only one family in the entire surf, my dear sisters, that has a hamzatul qata. Can anyone remind me which family has Hamzatul Qata? Very good job. Family 4, family 4, family 4. Very good job. So in here, what are you seeing in this word? Al-Muqtarra, Muqtaribun. Are you seeing anything in here? Which rule is being applied of Muda'af? Is there is on is yes, there is you are only seeing idgham. Is there any naqal that happened in this word? No. Very good job, very good job. This is idgham bighayri naqal. Idgham bighayri naqal, and we have covered that in our previous sessions, alhamdulillah. Okay, now the next word is a very common word. and a beautiful word, wajada yajidu. Wajada yajidu. So, latajida, latajidannahum, or tajiduhu. What do you think? What do you think about this word? You notice any rule in here in word tajida? There is hasf, and why so? Because the word is from daraba. Ainul kalima has a kasra, right? So in past you don't do find any change. It is the same as your regular sound fail. However, anytime you see mudare, you are noticing that your mudare dropped its waw, and the reason is that waw was present between alamatul mudare maftuha and ainul kalima that had a kasra, right? So anytime that happens, you are going to notice omission of wow. I'm just making sure that we do not miss anything interesting from these set of root letters. It's basically tajida or something like that. There is ajidanna fawajada. No, very simple. I think everyone is aware of how this goes. So I don't think there is anything that I'm seeing which is not which we need to go over, since it's pretty straightforward um, so far. Okay. Okay. So this is Waw Jim Dal. Now we have one second. I have missed this one. موبقا وجعلنا بينهم موبقا. What does this word remind you of from Suratul Kahf, verse number 52? Are you seeing any ilal? No. This word reminds you of what? Meme with a fatha. Meme with a fatha. It can be, and we made between them. It can be ism zarf, right? It can be used as an ism zarf. It can be understood as your ism zarf, and um, we will put between them a valley of destruction. It could be a valley of destruction, and it can be understood as masdar mimi as well, right? If you remove the valley, you can just understand it as destruction itself, right? And both ways, sometimes word can be understood as masdar mimi and asam zarf. Both meanings can be applied. Do you know that sometimes a word that spells like ism zarf and or masdar mimi, in some cases you will see that you can use both, and you can understand it as using both, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked human being to do the tadabbur, right? And though sometimes the context or the references from the history, we can find out what is the word referring to, but sometimes if both meanings can be applied, we are given that allowance that we apply both, right? We can understand both ways. So when you look at this word yubiqhunna, what does this word remind you of? Yubiqhunna, this word, is this misal? Is it? No, 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 no. Yubiq. If it was yubak, then it could be majhul, but this is yubiq. U a is majhul. U e is regular fail mudare. This is family 4, right? Aubaka yubiku, right? Aubaka yubiku. Easy. It is family 4. Remember, it's your regular mudare. Yeah, there's no difference. It's a regular fail mudare in family 4, and this is misal in family 4. Okay. Now this one, aujasa. This is the word waw jim sa, seen, has been used in Quran in Surat Hud, Surat Taha, and Az-Zariyat. So, there's a mention of a Musa alayhi salam in one context, and in one of the cases, it had mention of, I think it was the angels going to the nation of Lut, and they visited in between Ibrahim alayhi salam. So aujasa. So when you look at word aujasa, it is coming from family 4 because of the presence of Hamzatul Qata, and there is no change, right? Just conjugating like your regular fail, right? أوجفتم أوجفتم وجفة وجفة أوجفتم. When you see أوجفتم, does it remind you of anything? So this is reminding you of family 4 again, because of the presence of Hamzatul Qata, and this is your family 4 past tense with a file. The mir bar is taul file, and meme is for lijamai zukur, and there is no change that you are noticing in the word. There is no ilal, right? When you see wajifatun, wajifatun, does it sound like fa'ilatun? Ism fa'ilatun, right? Right? Okay. So, um, when you look at this word, afa'a, what can be the possibility for this word? If I have to ask you to analyze this word, afa'a, what does it look like? Very good job. Very good job. So the answers here that I'm seeing is that this is family 4 because of the presence of Hamzatul Qata in the beginning. And then my sisters were able to identify that there is Elal, Elal, Bil Qalb, the Waw got changed into Alif, right? Afa'a, Yufi'u, right? Your Waw got changed into Alif. There is a Qalb, and any time the Waw is or Ya is mutaharik preceded by a letter that is maftuha in case of past tense, and also in other cases as well, you notice the Waw gets changed into Alif, and this is what happened here. And this word is Ajwaf Wawi, and it's a mix as well, right? It's not just plain Ajwawabi, it's not pure Ajwawabi. You are noticing a mix here, right? Because this word is Mahmuzul Lam as well, right? Ajwawabi with Mahmuzul Lam, because the Lamul Karima is Hamza. I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay. Wajilat, wajilat, wajilat. Very important word. And Wajilat family 1, very good job. And Wajilat Samia or Hasiba, right? Wajila, and Wajilat means to be fearful. Wajilat is to be fearful, right? To be afraid. So if something has to do, if a word has to do, if a fail has to do with emotions, happiness, sadness, fear, anxiety, body defect, color, you think about Samia clan. So you want to give it to Hasiba or Samia? Babe Sin or Babe Ha? You're going to give it to Samia. Very good job. So this set of root letter, what is special about this one is you will notice Wajila, Yaujalu. Wajila, Yaujalu, the wow remains intact. Is there any reason for wow to go away in here? N- do you know need to omit wow here? No, we don't need to, right? What is special about these set of root letters is Vajala, Yojalu, that there is some file in here is on the pattern of Sifa Mushabba, is on a pattern of Sifa Mushabba, Fa'ilun, Fa'ilun. And here Wajiluna is actually the ism file. Instead of Wajiluna, you are going to see Wajiluna. Is there any other family that has some file that is on the pattern of Sifa Mushabba? Do you know of any family where you will find your, instead of having a spelling of ism file, you have Sifa Mushabba as ism file? Karuma, very good job. Very good job, Sister Rabia. Yes, in Karuma, you see Kareem, Fa'il pattern, right? In Karuma, you see Kareemun, Azimun, Kabirun, right? Similarly, when Wajila, Yaujalu is there, its ism file is again going to be on sifa mushabba pattern. However, it is going to be on this pattern fa'ilun. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Wajila yawjalu wajlan fahuwa wajilun. Keep that in mind. Okay, fa'ilun pattern. The next word that you have here is root letter waw jim ha, and I will see an example. Wajihan is going to be the ism. What is wajihan going to be? Can it be sifa mushabba? Wajihan. Can we call wajihan fa'ilan as sifa mushabba? Wajjahtu. Inni wajjahtu. Which family? Which family? Wajjahtu. Family 2. Very good job. Any change? Any change that you are seeing here? No change. No elal, right? Okay, wujuh is so common that it's taking away from a very important word. I just want to finish this. Yuwajjihu. Yuwajjihu. What are we seeing here? This one. Where is this word coming from? It's not masdar. It's not masdar. Yuwajjihu is not masdar. It's family to mudare, right? It's family to regular mudare. If it was tawjihan, then it is going to be the masdar. But this is your regular fail mudare, family 2. And then you will find it in your this family. What is this family here? Tawajjaha. Tawajjaha. Which family is this? Walamma tawajjaha. It's family 5. Very good job. And I think with that I will end. I've already gone, I've taken 2 more minutes. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sisters.